Hello and welcome back post-National Ceiling Fan Day. It's always fantastic participating in that event, but it's also always a bit of a relief when it's over. Now I can breathe a little bit and get around to doing some other things. And today there's actually quite a bit to get you caught up on. Everything that is happening is tied back to the same project, but there are different components, some directly fan-related, some indirectly fan-related, and some just completely unrelated at all. And a lot of the early stages of this have been in process for a little while, but now everything is starting to come together really quickly and has progressed leaps and bounds over the past couple of weeks. So I think we should just start at the beginning with the main piece that prompted everything else. If you've been watching this series basically since the beginning, you may remember that very early on I mentioned hopefully having some sort of washing setup back here someday. I think I mentioned it briefly when I installed this fan, that's why this is installed here. At the time I was planning for the short-term future. I was hoping to get this moving many years ago. I didn't think it would take this long, but it is now official. It is finally happening. So it's not going to be just like a basic wash tub, even though at this point even that would be great because I literally have nowhere to clean portable fans efficiently. We do have like a basic wash tub up in the laundry room, but it's mounted in the countertop. There's cabinetry over it. It's worked fine for ceiling fan parts when I can break them down into smaller pieces in the meantime. But a lot of the stuff with larger portable fans just does not work. And yes, outside is an option, but in case you forgot, I do live in North Dakota and that is a limited option. It's also just like not the greatest, not the most time efficient. You have to drag out the hose and all the cleaning supplies, and anytime you're dealing with the hose, then you get soaked yourself. There's just so much extra involved that I do not have time for. And I now have the means and the funding to make something better for myself, so that's what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be a large double-wide true commercial sink. The sink is on order. Obviously that has to come through a freight service, so it's still a ways out. Some of the other drain and faucet equipment has already arrived here, but the sink itself I believe is 24 by 48, completely undivided. So that'll fit box fan cabinets, grills, literally anything I'll ever need to clean will fit in this sink. I'm also adding an accessory drain board off the side. That should give me a space to actually like scrub on box fan grills and stuff like that. At my parents' old house, I used to use the walk-in shower in the basement, so I could wet the grills, spray them down with cleaner, and then scrub them off and rinse them. That usually worked really well in that application, so now I should be able to basically duplicate that in this setting. And I am so excited to finally get this moving because I have so many portable fans that need to be cleaned. I have a bunch where I have duplicates that just need to be combined into one good unit. So this will also be opportunity to clean out a bunch of stuff. Finding the time to get through 6 or 7 years of backlog will be another thing, but with this in place it will be so much quicker and easier to get a little bit done here and there. So I've already been looking at everything over here a little bit more, because initially I thought I only had this specific space to work with. I basically just kind of centered this fan on it and figured this was going to be what I would have to deal with. I also didn't exactly know what kind of sink I would be able to get. Now kind of knowing more what I'm able to do and what the end setup is going to look like, I may have to shift this fan around. I also want to add some sort of lighting that is directly over the sink, but I'm really not going to touch or plan for any of that until this installation is complete and set. So now on to all the other things that this set into motion. Up until probably a couple of years ago, essentially all of the shelving back here was completely full. We were storing more things for grandparents, other family members, and I think also just had more of our own stuff. Since then, grandparents have passed, other people have taken their stuff out. We were able to actually get rid of some stuff and also integrate it into actual use upstairs. All that to say there were some significant gaps in the shelving, and when this project started moving, I figured it was time to start condensing down and maybe gain myself some more working room. So I've been working on repacking, restacking, recategorizing as best as I can. Over 6 or 7 years, there's been a lot of stuff just kind of shoved in wherever we can put it. So this was the opportunity to get more like items together in categories. This is the stuff that I'm sure you all don't care about as much, so I'll make this logistics part snappy and try to get back on the topics you care about. But there was a second one of these shelves in this spot right next to that one, and that shelf has now been relocated over here. This spot used to be that plastic shelf, which I have cleared off and should be able to eliminate now. And on that note, I am also working on clearing off this plastic shelf and should be able to eliminate it as well. That will give me a much wider and clearer walking path to the sink through here, and then the plan is to move this existing shelf out into the previous shelf's location. That should take it out of any splash zone associated with the new sink, and it also just gives completely open access to the drain line here. So now I think that takes us to what I want to try to get done today. First and foremost, I want to get the rest of this stuff that's sitting around onto this last shelf, and then unfortunately the pro lines are going to have to come down. When I bring this unit over, I want to slightly condense the aisle space just to give a little bit more room back here. I'm also going to bring this one further out to align in the same way. I think I also want to drag these two further into the aisle by a couple of inches. I added this shelf at the back here for some extra space, and I don't really like the way it overlaps. And we also have window screens, folding chairs, stuff like that stored on the back side. It wouldn't hurt to have just a little more space back there. So unfortunately, in doing that, 56-inch fans are just not going to work here anymore. I do want to bring fans back into this area and have a couple ideas on what I can do. I just need to get these down so I can set the space the way I need it to be, and from there I can kind of feel it out and decide what I want to do. So for starters, I'm going to try to get some of this stuff put away, and I will check back in with you in a bit. Okay, that part was actually relatively quick and seamless. I'm basically left with some empty totes and some boxes that can go away. And then this extra drywall and stuff I'm going to try to shove back here after they're done with the plumbing. Okay, I did a little preparation work and got hooks installed into these boxes. I'm not going to reposition the boxes yet. I'm going to get the fans mounted, and then I can just move the boards they're mounted to around afterwards to get them set perfectly. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to steal these two matching fans from this installation. This way I can have one good install with two matching fans. So I'm going to start by seeing if I can get these ones relocated. Okay, this is where I've landed with everything. It's comfortable enough to get things in and out, but not wasting space. I feel like on camera this aisle is appearing much tighter than it actually is. Obviously these are 36-inch fans, so I have probably about 42-44 inches of space between the shelving. The space over here is going to be simply incredible. Once again, this is going to be an amenity like nothing I've ever had before. I think there will even be room here for some sort of workstation where I can take things apart right here. A lot of times when I'm cleaning fans, they're taken apart, immediately cleaned, and put right back together. So the potential here is just really amazing. I think now, kind of seeing how this is laying out, this fan is probably going to move more into this space. Again, I'm not going to touch that until everything is properly laid out down here. But there's several more feet on the end here than I ever thought I would have. And then I did want to gain that little bit of extra space between the wall again so that I can put some sort of lighting over the sink. So this is gonna about wrap it up for today. The only major thing I really have left is to move this temporary mount over. I might try to get that done quick before I head out, but otherwise it's not a major issue for the time being. So like I said at the very beginning of today, the sink is a little ways out. I don't know for sure what I'll be doing the next time I come back, so we might be looking at a sink, or I will be working on something else. Either way, I will see you back soon. Hello, I'm currently editing this video, and I wasn't sure where I was going to be at for time because I actually had a lot of footage for this one, but there's sort of a whole sequence in there that I decided to just completely cut out because it's sort of irrelevant now, and with what I have left now, it's basically a perfect vlog length, so I'm hopping in now to close it out. I sort of left you hanging here on what's going to be replacing the Caribbean Breeze install. Honestly, I haven't even fully decided what I'm doing, so that will probably be in the next video. Apologies for that. I was hoping to get it back into the sequence of this video or the potential part 2, but instead I think it'll just be better to get what I have up for you now. So thank you all for watching, and I did just want to throw in a big thank you for all the support on the National Ceiling Fan Day video. It just passed 25,000 views and it hasn't even been out for a month yet, so a massive thank you for your support on that. Those videos are the big view getters on my channel and they make so much possible. That is all I have for now. I will see you next time. Click left to watch another vlog, or click right for my entire shop vlog playlist to start at the beginning.